Good Sunday afternoon, YouTube. How you guys doing today? So I'm gonna go ahead on and get started. I felt like Sunday would be a good day for us to talk about something that I have mentioned a couple of times. I have made a couple of videos, or at least one video, and I've talked about it in several videos. The fact that we are in the age of Aquarius, but what I never fail to do is kind of explain what it is that I mean. Hey, Mika. When I say that we are in the age of Aquarius and the water bearer and the water bearer is calling. When I speak of the age of Aquarius, I mean specifically as it pertains to our people. I am talking about the age of Aquarius from a spiritual standpoint. Now, astrologically, the age of Aquarius symbolizes the way the Earth uh, rotates around the sun. And technically, it says it takes at least 2,100 plus years for the Earth to, really go from one end of the sun to navigate from one end of the sun to the other. Right? That's astrological. That's what astrologers say. But but if you're going under that astrological definition, some of us are further into the age of Aquarius, in my opinion, than others. And what I mean by that is, uh, if you are the first, because of nature, let me say this, because we are connected to the nature as well, to nature as well as the universe, as well as the sun, and the stars, the zodiac, if you will, because we are connected to nature, universe, and every other thing. Us as a people, we are further along as it pertains to being in the age of Aquarius passes versus the age of Pisces, if you will. The age of Pisces is was the age of understanding. The understanding, trying to understand who you are religiously, trying to understand who you are, your true self. You had things come about like a very structured religious sects trying to manipulate and control you, trying to keep you from being your true self, from to keep you from researching and understanding who you truly are as a person. That is why religion is so insidious as it pertains to black people in particular, because of the onslaught of chattel slavery as well as the onslaught of Christianity. A lot of us are, our minds are hypnotized and they have been traumatized, and every other thing ties into not understanding who we are. But as we are leaving the age of Pisces, particularly if you are a melanated person, you are starting to realize and even fight with yourself as we enter into the age of Aquarius. That's why you see a lot of back and forth, and a lot of, more so than ever, disloyalty between our people. I was listening to a video yesterday when I heard the men, per usual, speaking so derogatorily about women, and I think that is much more than um, the trauma from chattel slavery. It is much more than inferiority as it pertains to what's going on. The age of Aquarius versus the age of Pisces, what you're seeing is the Aquarius woman. We are a more divine being. We were created that way. And what you see is women embracing their evolution or elevation, if you will. Many women embracing their evolution or elevation. And for that reason, you see a lot of men really fighting that, because they are not as advanced even as you are, metaphysically, if you will. And for that reason, they feel inferior to you. And then you have women that, do what they can to tamp their true natures down, tamp their mind elevation down, and for that reason, they are really hindering their growth, if you will. They are hindering what it is that they are needing to become. They are fighting it tooth and nail, as well as the man is fighting it tooth and nail. Because I truly believe, as we delve deeper into the age of Aquarius, the water barrier will continue to call women much more strongly. Um, yes, most are fight. Yes, absolutely, KM. I agree with that. A lot of people don't realize that, though. You see what I'm saying? But particularly as melanated women, because we are the bearers of life. We are the first to that the God of the universe, the Most High God of the universe, chose us to bring forth, to birth a world, if you will, not even a print, only inadequate men. Yeah, absolutely, Mela, because you see women leading now, and it's not just because men, and I'm talking about us as a melanated people. You see women taking more and more of a lead, because we are delving further and further into the age of Aquarius. Thank you for saying that, by the way. Thank you, because when it comes to the age of Aquarius, I truly believe that as we delve deeper into it, maybe even as far as, you know, 50 years into the age of Aquarius, we see things changing on a day-to-day basis. And now I'm talking about our people, because the reason why the Romans, in my opinion, changed the whole astrological system was because the correct way that Africans viewed astrology was the correct way. They even taught astrology in Timbuktu, in ancient Africa. Do you see what I'm saying? They even taught that. But when the Romans came in, because it was true, precise, and exact, and we know that they replicated everything from us, they changed that so that they could tap down our divinity, so that we wouldn't realize what we are. But that when the Romans came and flipped everything around, if you will, for lack of a better word, that was still the age of Pisces, the age of understanding, so that they could manipulate you by stuff, something like religion, or a false sense of spirituality, or even chattel slavery, or uprooting you from your people and trying to reprogram you, if you will, as a people. Do you see what I'm saying? And so because of all of that, we started living into, even black people embrace it today, melanated people, they embrace, because of the age of Pisces, they embrace, especially melanated men, they embrace white male patriarchy. And when you embrace white male patriarchy as a black man, all of this inferiority complex that they have, all of this wanting to beat down verbally, physically, even kill sometimes the black woman, that is the inferiority that they are feeling, not only from the trauma of chattel slavery, but also they feel inferior because they have been hypnotized into this mindset of white male patriarchy. So you hear them on YouTube, like I did yesterday, talking about really surface level, very derogatory, stereotypical things about black women on a black male site. It is very misogynistic when you hear it. And all of that, I said all of that to say is, what we're witnessing right now is the black woman, because she is further along astrologically, she is further along metaphysically, she is further along spiritually, if she will start to embrace that. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it is supposed to be that way. It's because we were gifted, and we were also cursed with the task of birthing a whole world. So you have to be further along spiritually as well as astrologically if you are a melanated woman. It just simply is that way. And like I said, the inferiority that you feel, that you hear in these men's voice, some of them don't even know why they feel this way towards us. Do you see what I'm saying? It's for a whole lot of reasons, but a lot of it is on the inside. A lot of it is due to the pineal glands. Because of white male patriarchy, they have been pretty much taught that they are supposed to lead. Do you see what I'm saying? But metaphysically, we know that the woman really is the lead. really is the lead if you go by a spiritual standpoint. So when you hear something like the water bearer is calling, if you put it in the form of the divine feminine versus the divine masculine, the divine feminine is the one that is supposed to lead, simply because she is the one that has to bring forth life. Because she brings forth life as a melanated woman, she brings forth the new age, yet another age. In the age that she is birthing now, when I say the water bearer is calling spiritually, the feminine energy, the divine feminine is birthing another astrological age, if you will, and that's why we are getting so much pushback right now. Do you see what I'm saying? And then you have those that are not melanated that are literally trying to steal your essence away from you. We see it on a day-to-day basis. We see it in the arts. We see it in religion. We see it in everyday walk of life. And even though they are trying to steal the melanated woman's essence away from her, she still elevates. She's still pushing forward. She's still doing what she have to do. Do you see what I'm saying? And that is why we're getting so much pushback. And that is why I kind of want to talk about this today. But like I said, I never quite explained what I meant by when I said that we are in the age of Aquarius, because we as a melanated people are in the age of Aquarius. That's why we are so undivided right now, because because of what I just mentioned before, a lot of dysfunction. We are fighting the age of Aquarius, especially our males, because we want to stay in the age of Pisces. We want to stay. They want you to stay in the age of understanding, because when you're trying to understand something, you can be misled by confusion. When you're in the age of Aquarius, you're in the age of knowing. You no longer research. You no longer have to research. You no longer have to follow under any type of religion to know who you are. That religion doesn't define you. A world order doesn't define you, because you are in the world, in the age of knowing, if you will. And that is a lot of fight that we see going on in our community. And it's unfortunate that a lot of people really don't understand what's going on. And that's why I wanted to do this video today. KM said yes. Yes, I guess we are further along than most men in the process. Yes, if you are a black man, you are further along as well. You see what I'm saying? But you are not as further along. You are just behind the divine woman as it pertains to the universe. That's all I mean by that. As it pertains to the universe. That is why it's so important for us to practice reciprocity as a melanated people. You have to practice reciprocity. You have to embrace the divine feminine as well as the divine masculine. But a new world order, a non-melanated people don't want you to embrace reciprocity. They want to keep you divided. Because if they keep you divided, you are weaker. You are weaker without, embracing your divine feminine or embracing your divine masculine. If all of masculine is on one side and all of the feminine is on the other side, you are weak. You are weakened because of that. You have to practice reciprocity so that you can practice strength. Do you see what I'm saying? And I saw a video. It was some rapper saying that. And I'm using rap because I hear a lot of young people on YouTube. They keep referencing these movies, and they keep referencing cartoons, and they're trying to psychoanalyze cartoons and movies and rap music and things of that nature. Thinking, who you are as a person is so much more than a movie. That is you, trying to psychoanalyze art or psychoanalyze programming, if you will. You need to look outside of that movie or that cartoon that you love so much. You can't find meaning in a cartoon or even a rap song for that nature. And then when we're talking about that in rap music, we know that rap music has been dead since Tupac Shakur. And the reason why I say that, if you want to talk about music and rap music, because they love to talk about it. Do you see what I'm saying? They're not even looking into the new meaning of somebody like a Tupac Shakur and why he was so significant to rap music or hip hop, if you will, because Tupac, he was so in tuned with who he was that he was in a fight with himself, and you can listen to that fight within that very music, because he was fighting between his lower self and his higher self. He was in constant battle with himself, and he was getting better. He was trying to mold the two. Do you see what I'm saying? But he was killed before he could mold the two. But if he could ever transform himself into uh a even killed, embracing his lower self and his higher self, he would have been the next, I guess, Malcolm X, or Malcolm X or Martin Luther King rolled up into one. Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, all of them rolled up into one, because he was operating under an age of Pisces, moving into an age of Aquarius. So I think that he would have elevated. But I think that so many young, and I only mentioned that is because you hear so many young people on here, like I said, trying to psychoanalyze rap music, and they don't understand how their energy, how they siphon and they harness our essence and our energy. These people that run this industry these days, they are energy vampires, and they are siphoning your energy, and they are sucking you dry, of your essence. They are trying to anyway. That is what they are trying to do. And why are they trying to do that? They know that if they can put some kind of way possess your essence, they can steal your energy, they can steal your power, which is for millions of years, while under the age of Pisces, the Roman has done. That is what he has done this whole time. Is siphon and harness your energy and steal your energy. But as we're entering into the age of Aquarius, because we are entering into the age of knowing, even though we're, as a melanated people, we're fighting it tooth and nail. Even though we're fighting it tooth and nail, they can't stop you from your mind or your mention, or you mentally or metaphysically being elevated. Even though a lot of us ourselves are fighting it, because we have been programmed under this age of Pisces, this age of understanding, we are not comfortable with knowing who we are. That's why you see something that's, take what I did a video on what is her name? I did on the video on the visual album that Beyonce had, right? And so since that album, and I'm talking about references and entertainment, because so many young people like to reference, like I said, entertainment and music, right? So you see this visual album by Beyonce, right? She is a cultural icon of this age, if you will, just like Michael Jackson was in his age. You know what I mean? Little Richard in his age, and so on and so forth, right? You have seen so many black people. There's a young rapper, and she's supposed to be quote unquote woke, or quote unquote, I don't think she calls herself pro-black, but quote unquote woke or whatever, right? She said that Beyonce was culturally appropriating Africans. How can you culturally appropriate Africans or African culture if ancestrally you are African yourself? How can you culturally appropriate that? So what I heard in the midst of her saying that, in my ears, it was telling me, hey, Elise, how you doing, babes? So what I heard in the midst of her saying that was she was unaware of herself. She is not as woke as she needs to be or supposed to be. And a lot of young people, because they have the world at their hand, via these phones, you can Google search anything, which is really you living in you're delving or dwindling under this religious mindset, this Pisces mindset, because you are not seeking to know who you are from within. That is causing a lot of our melanated young people to think that they know more than the ancestors know, or the elders know. They would even rather take their cues of who they are from cultural references like hip hop, or some talking point they got off of Twitter. You see what I'm saying? Because if you weren't getting your quote unquote woke talking points from Twitter or some Facebook meme, you would know. The little young rapper girl would have known is what you did is you're delving into your lower self. You are doing the work. You are really preaching white supremacist ideology, because if you really know who you are, you wouldn't say that Beyonce was culturally appropriating Africans, because at her core, in her essence, her ancestors, because she is melanated, is African. So how can you culturally appropriate with that which is already yours? She was speaking about Beyonce in her lower self because, in my opinion, she was jealous because it was so beautiful and she didn't understand it. And it was a shock to her pineal gland to see even Africans are complaining about what Beyonce did. Do you see what I'm saying? It's so shocking to you because of the level of self-hate that we have in this community, that some of us have. You are not comfortable with seeing yourself in such an elevated state. You are not comfortable seeing yourself as the epitome of beauty, which was displayed, in my opinion, in this album, which is what Beyonce was trying to, convey. And when the Africans over in the diaspora, they said she's trying to, culturally appropriate their culture, and they don't run around with these outfits on and putting paint on their face. They, when they wake up, they're on Twitter and all of this and all of that. And I'm thinking, well, you have to look at it from an American standpoint, because when we romanticize or Wakandaize, if you will, it's because that's what they call it, Wakandaization or something. They call it Wakandaization when you see somebody like a Beyonce portray of the continent of Africa in such a beautiful, majestic way. When you see her, that is her. That is us in America. A lot of us romanticize, the continent. We romanticize Africa because Africa calls to us. Because we know that our ancestors continue to call out from the continent, out from the universe, out from nature. They call out to us. And when you are an artist, that calling that you have upon you is going to come out in a very powerful, bold, beautiful way, because you are trying to wake up and you're trying to answer that call. And so, because they are used to seeing and living on the continent, every single day, they tend to take advantage of it. So when you see it, and then they have been colonized and recolonized and recolonized again, to the point to where they even hate themselves. They hate where they live. They hate the one planet, the one continent, which is the only place on Earth that is connected to the Earth as well as the universe. But because of self-hate, they hate that. They don't understand it. They want to be seen as Americanized, when you should want to be seen as even more African, okay? Because that is the true human in you. But because, like I said, you've been colonized, and and your mind has been manipulated to think that the more American you are, the better you are. You don't appreciate when you get an American like Beyonce showing you and throwing in your face, if you are African, if you are on the continent, how beautiful the thing that you take advantage of really is. You don't understand that. Your mind can't understand that, because you are so embarrassed of it, because you have been manipulated and colonized and told that you are ugly, and said that your country was a s-hole country, and your country has been, his natural resources have been stolen away from them for centuries, to the point to where you're living in poverty. Your very spirituality, if you will, has been stolen away from you and replaced with Christianity, okay? Or even Muslims did the same thing even before Christianity. They stole your true spirituality away from you. And so you can't understand what you're looking at. You understand it, especially if you're on the continent. You can feel it if you are over here in the States and you're black and you're looking at this. But it's uncomfortable to you, because you are not used to being seen as majestic and regal, and supreme. And because that is what I saw when I watched Black is King. I saw how regal we really are, how colorful and majestic and powerful we really are as a people. But unfortunately, because of self-hate, we don't even understand the power that we possess, and we fight it tooth and nail. And that's bringing it back around to the Age of Aquarius as opposed to the Age of Pisces. Because we are supposed to know, we are going to know, regardless of how you fight. In the end, as we get further into the Age of Aquarius, it is absolutely going to be too hard for you to fight. So either you embrace it or you perish. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what you have to do. And so you still haven't seen it. It's beautiful, Manny. So that is what's going on, guys. And I really want to explain from a spiritual standpoint what we're wishing it. Us as a melanated people, we are entering in, or already in, some will say, the early stages of the Age of Aquarius, because the earth is still fluttering or shifting back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And so you still have, you still are under a Pisces rule, But for on an everyday basis, every year that the sun rotates around a little further, do you see what I'm saying? You're rotating even closer, especially if you're a melanated person, even closer to the age of Aquarius. The water bearer is calling you is so strong until you can't shake that anymore. Do you see what I'm saying? It's hard for you to fight it. So you need to go on and you want to embrace it. You just don't know how to embrace it because you don't understand what it is that you're feeling on the inside. Do you see what I'm saying? And you're kind of right, Elise. But the age of Aquarius is really much more than the fifth dimension. It's much more than that. It's astrological. Do you see what I'm saying? It's universal. Do you see what I'm saying? And that is why, like I said, it is calling to us melanated people. So the call is so strong of the water bearer. The call is strong. You see a lot of people getting exposed for their hustling ways or their lying ways. You even got people, like, take for instance on YouTube, they will get mad at you and say you're not pro-black, meaning you're not for your people, if you speak out against these charlatans and these people that say they're B1 or pro-black in order to garner money out of their subscribers so that they can live. But because you speak out against them and because you can see them, see the hustlers that reveal. You can see right through their inner self. Do you see what I'm saying? They will say that you are chaos, or you are, not for black people, or you are not black first or pro-black, because you come up against these charlatans and these scammers and these bums and these frauds. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I said, I took off my crown and went inside of a top content creator's video yesterday. I was listening to it because I was trying to, clean my carpet, right? So at first, I was listening to the callers. It was sounding real good. I was here for it. And then the caller popped on, like I said, and started speaking very derogatorily against women. This is the when black women need to stop embracing the whore culture. And I'm thinking, what is he talking about? You are inferior. You are intimidated by these young girls, saying that they're embracing their whore culture. When you see somebody like a Megan the Stallion up on an Instagram post, so beautiful, so brown, so regal, and then you'll see her, gyrating her body, what do they call it, twerking her body or something. She's not embracing whore culture because she is in college. She is embracing who she is. And for you to shame somebody, a woman, for embracing who they are, is beyond me. I don't have hang-ups like that. I believe you should embrace who you are. Because if you don't embrace who you are as a person, if religion tells you to be ashamed of your body, why do you think there's so many perverts, little boys, turn into perverts? Because religion or the world tells them you're not supposed to look at a naked woman. You're not supposed to masturbate because you're getting these feelings on the inside. You wrong. You're going to go to hell. You're going to go to hell for touching your own damn body. Where the hell do they do that at? Okay? So when you get them and you pour all this nonsense into men and women, you tell the woman, you can't be sexy, you can't be sensual, you can't be proud of your body, you can't gyrate your body, you got to cover it up with sackcloth. Okay? When you tell them that, you are turning them into something other than what they are. Do you see what I'm saying? And so I don't understand that. I refuse to teach the little people in my family to be ashamed of their body, because I am no longer in the age of understanding. I am in the age of knowing. I know who I am, and because I know who I am, I have to teach them the regal and the beauty and the majesty of who they are. Okay? Because I will not create a pervert. That's what I will not do. You do not have to be ashamed if you are a boy. You don't have to be ashamed of admiring, and loving to look at a female because, she walking down the street, or you think she look good. Do you see what I'm saying? You don't have to be ashamed of that. You don't have to be ashamed of lusting after a girl. Why do you think so many men are confused? They're trying to embrace the feminine inside of them because the world has told them that they need to be ashamed. The world has told them that they are toxic. So the only recourse they have is to embrace their feminine nature because they don't want to be attacked for being masculine. And a lot of people don't even think about that. Do you see what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. Like I said, we are leaving at it. I'm sorry for getting loud, y'all, but I'm outside, and I don't know if y'all can hear all this noise, but, honey, it's birds chirping, it's cars rolling, and all of this, because I'm sitting out in this parking lot waiting for this girl to come out the store. But anyway, it's just like a lot. It's a lot to deal with. It's so much dysfunction in the midst of it's chaos. I ain't gonna say this. It's chaos right now, and at the end of the day, the reason why we are enduring so much chaos as a melanated people is simply because we are rising. Aquarius is rising. The water bearer is calling. Your soul, your very essence, the sun, the universe, nature, all of that is calling out to you at one time. And if you ain't, careful, you will you can lose your mind if you're hanging on to patriarchy, or you're hanging on to what the world has said that you are as a black melanated person, because that is not who you is. They teach you that you are nothing because they want to steal your essence. They want to become you. They want to possess you. They want to steal it away from you. They want you to lay it down and throw it away so that they can pick it up and harness your energy. That is what they want you to do. Do you see what I'm saying? You have so many men and women at war. Do you see what I'm saying? And saying all kind of derogatory things about one another, to it's absolutely disgusting. Do you see what I'm saying? That's why I pretty much clocked out of listening to almost everybody, in this little sector, this black commentary sector, because I can't call it a woke sector. Because if you're going to come for somebody like me and let come out of your mouth that I am somehow not for my people, because I am calling out those that are trying to profit off your ignorance, that means it's time for me to clock out and just stay in my own lane. Okay, if you want to call me chaos for speaking out and not being afraid to embrace my lower self as well as my higher self and get you all the way together, then it's time for me to stay in my own lane. Because what you will not do is suck my energy. That's what you will not do. And so anyway, I wanted to read this from Elise. Elise said, Salome danced for King Herod, and he was so pleased that his wickedness, I guess in his wickedness, he gave her John the Baptist a head on. Absolutely. Honey, many wars have been fought because men want to lay in between the thighs of a beautiful woman. So yeah, you're right about that. Men like looking at, they're supposed to look at women. That's what they're supposed to do. And even in the Bible, I'm glad you said that, Elise. Girl, come on now. Even in the Bible, Jesus, which people call a deity or the Son of God, which people don't even realize that Jesus never once was a deity, or really, and what he didn't mean. When he said he didn't say he was the Son of God, he said he was the Son of Man. Man said he was the Son of God. Okay, and it's because he was like a messenger, a apostle, a foreteller of the future, if you will. But even in the Bible, in the New Testament, Jesus mentions the fact that he said there will be a man entering into your town, and I'm prefacing this, entering in your town, and he will be carrying an earthen pitcher of water, and you need to follow him wherever he goes. That is him telling you that a water bearer is coming and that you need to follow him. Okay, that's what I mean by when I talk about people not really understanding the Bible, and they really need to decode the Bible before they throw it to the wayside. Okay, he even in the New Testament, and I think that's in Luke if you guys want to look it up. Even in New Testament, he is telling you about the water bearer. He is telling you that there is one going to become somebody going to be coming, bearing water, which is water means life. Do you see what I'm saying? You need to follow that bearer of water so that you can find life, so that you can embrace your very essence. Do you see what I'm saying? And so, like I said, you can't. We know that the Bible is a book of allegory, and any type of holy book, the Quran, the Torah, any other the Talmud, even the Bible, the King James version anyway, even that, you don't need to throw it off to the side. What you need to do is try to decode it, okay, and not try to put your earthly understanding in it, because it's got all. We know that the Bible is an esoteric book as well as a book of allegory. Do you see what I'm saying? So how on one hand the world is telling you, say something like voodoo. Voodoo is evil. Your spirituality is evil. Don't follow voodoo. Follow the King James version of the Bible. Okay, that's a book of freaking spells. Okay, freaking spells, astrology, numerology, and a whole bunch of other things. Okay, so you don't even know what you're talking about. So this just behooves me to understand. But anyway, was there something else that I want to say? Shoot. Anyway, if y'all haven't, child, I gotta go. I done got so far off into this. I didn't even mean to get off into this. Do you see what I'm saying? That's right. You have to seek ancient wisdom. That's what you have to do. You can't throw stuff to the side, because, like I said, because we are entering in, and black women, even but melanated, excuse me, women in particular, because the water barrier is calling us so strong, it is forcing you to lead, because that is your rightful place, and you're fighting with that because you still want to bow down to patriarchy. Do you see what I'm saying? And that is why you are torn. But you need to embrace that in which you are meant to do, which is lead. Okay? Lead spiritually. Lead. I don't mean necessarily lead physically all the time. I mean lead spiritually, because the water bearer is calling, and the universe is really tapping into our divine melanated feminine energy even more so. That's why we are moving at a faster pace, unfortunately, than the melanated man. But he don't need to feel inferior to how fast we're moving. He needs to understand that metaphysically, it is supposed to be that way. And spiritually, it has to be that way. Do you see what I'm saying? But that's why we need to, once again, before I leave, practice reciprocity instead of division. Okay? Because those energy vampires want to keep us divided. Because if we can ever realize that we are both divine feminine as well as divine masculine in our respective places, divided but together, divided or separated but unified in one celestial body, if we could ever elevate ourselves to that type of thinking, we would be unstoppable as a people. Which is the reason why the water bearer, like I said, is calling us. I heard a rapper or something where, no, I think it was on the Beyonce thing, as a matter of fact, and I thought it was so wonderful. And I'm gonna paraphrase here. It says that I learned some things from a man, but I learned much more from a woman. Do you see what I'm saying? And when you think about it, it's absolutely true. A man can teach a man war. He can teach him to be ruthless. He can teach him how to use his physical, sense. He can teach him his lower self, but it would take the woman to teach the man his higher self. And you have to embrace your higher self as well as your lower self if you seek to be complete. Do you see what I'm saying? And so, and I love that, and that's what I took out of that. Do you see what I'm saying? And so, yeah, let me read this. Manny said, I always said I would read the Bible one day to decode it, but my spirit cringes every time I think about reading it. Yeah, when you read it, you're going to have to read more than one book at the same time. You just can't read the Bible. I suggest that you grab your King James version of the Bible, or a Bible that you can understand, and also grab a Quran, and also grab a Torah, and also grab a Talmud. Okay? And I say that because the Torah in particular focuses on the true, the only real part of the Bible that you need to listen to is the first 3 to 5 books, because Genesis, Exodus, and Leviticus. Those are the only 3 books of the Torah. In Genesis, Exodus, and Leviticus is the beginning, the middle, and the end. Everything else is highly manipulated until you get to the book of Psalms, which is esoteric, and a book of spells. That is what that is about. And so the Hebrews, or some Orthodox Jews, they only focus on Genesis, Exodus, and Leviticus simply because it is the beginning, the middle, and the end. And that is why their books are that way. Do you see what I'm saying? And you can start out there. Now, a lot of other stuff is allegory, but the Genesis, Exodus, and Leviticus, the beginning, the middle, and the end. Not even the book of Revelation. That's a book that's esoteric as well. That is a foretelling of the future, if you will. That is kind of like prophecy. Do you see what I'm saying? And so on one end of the Bible, they're telling you not to embrace, not to believe in astrology, or not even to believe in a whole lot of esoteric things. But when you get to the book of Revelation, that's all it is. That's all it is. In the book of Psalms is downright scary. Okay, because if you ain't careful when you are decoding some of those songs, and if you could ever figure out the notes to the music to those Psalms, child, you got yourself a wonderful spell. Ain't no telling what you will be bringing about. Okay? So I never delved that far into it, as far as because there is music to every psalm in that book. There is music to it, especially as it pertains to the Orthodox Jews. Do you see what I'm saying? They can do what voodoo does. What voodoo call it? What do they call it? Recreating the zombie. What do they call it though? They don't raising the man from the dead. Necromancy. But the Orthodox Jews, they do the same thing. They call them golems and stuff. They put that dead body in the mud, and they chant over that dead body, and it'll come back up as a zombie, but they call it a golem. And those spells are in the book of Psalms, honey. Okay? So don't discount that Bible. I'm telling you, like, for real. It's just not used. It's just not what people think it is. It's absolutely is not what people think it is. Religion is telling, us, and that because of that Bible, because it was manipulated, there's a whole slave Bible aside from the King James Bible, and the King James Bible couldn't even be dictated properly because they didn't even understand some of what they were trying to translate. Some of it is even translated incorrectly. Do you see what I'm saying? Because they didn't understand it. So they just had to throw in a little word here or there, put in something that was manipulated. But I'm telling you that there's a reason for that. The beginning, middle, and the end, the Genesis, Exodus, and Leviticus being in the Torah is such as it is, and broke down in the way that it is. And like I said, as far as esoteric go, the book of Psalms is a powerful book of spells. You see what I'm saying? And so anyway, and as far as Jesus, they turned a apostle, a physical being, if you will. They deified him and said that he was the Son of God, but he said he was the Son of Man. They said he was the Son of God. They said he was the Son of God so that they could deify him, and say that he died on the cross to save your sins. And they said that so that you could remain in your Lord self, so that they could harness your energy, harness your essence. That is why, they manipulated that whole thing. But Jesus was not a deity. He was not. He never said that he was the Son of God. Man said that he was the Son of God. He said that he was the Son of Man. You see what I'm saying? And so they manipulated that whole thing. And you really have to read that book to get an understanding of the level of manipulation. And that is part of being under the age of Pisces, to manipulate you with religion. But like I said, as you enter in, as you start to embrace the age of Aquarius, you no longer can be manipulated by things like the Bible or any type of religion, especially if you're a melanated person, because your mind has elevated away from that. Do you see what I'm saying? Even when you see Manny saying, I be trying to read the book, but I cringe. Do you see what I'm saying? Perhaps there is something calling to her inside, not necessarily about that book, because that book has no power that you don't give to it. Do you see what I'm saying? It's more so, I think what she's feeling is that which is inside of her telling her that I cannot be manipulated by a book, a religion, another human being trying to tell me what to do. Do you see what I'm saying? My soul, my essence won't allow that in me. And so maybe that's what she's feeling. It's so much that we don't know because we don't tap into it. Do you see what I'm saying? And so I understand where Manny is coming from when she says that. I get it. Do you see what I'm saying? I get it. Yeah. So here come my niece, y'all. I got the little ones out with me today, and I had to, try to take them to the store. They've been in the house so long, I had to do something for them. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, but they coming back to the car and let me get off of here. I love you guys. Thanks so much for joining me. Everybody that joined me and participated. Thank you, Elise. Thank you, all of you guys, for joining me this morning. I love you guys. If you haven't listened to the beginning of the video, please go back and listen to the video. If you haven't hit that like button, hit that like button. And when you hit that subscribe button, if you will go to that little bell on the side and hit that all button, that little thing pop up, it says all, customized, personalized, something like that. Just hit the all so that you will get my notifications, because YouTube is really tweaking with my channel and it's really getting on my nerves. Okay, but if you guys would do that, thank you, Elise. I would greatly appreciate it. I love you guys. You have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed this little bit of spirituality my way. You know what I mean? Thank you, Elise. My cash app is $ capital O, lowercase RACLE, capital S, lowercase PEAKS, $OracleSpeaks. Thank you, babes, for even asking about my cash app. And thank you if you're going to send me a donation. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get off here. Like I said, thank you, Manny, for listening, okay? I love you guys. I'm going to talk to you a little bit later in the week if I can. So right now, I'm going to say peace, because these little mini people are coming out of this store, and it's going to be too loud here in about 20 seconds, because they fighting right now with each other. You know, play fighting or whatever you call it. Anyway, I got to go. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye. Love you all. Peace.